Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to the stream. It's me, Digi, just checking my sound levels, and we are back in Euro Truck Simulator 2 for even more Japanese trucking. Yes, Project Japan has officially run the ranks in my virtual trucking experience for literally about a month at this point. And since I'm continuing to work on the track towards getting enough yen to buy my first truck and try to make it as reliable and as close to new as possible, I continue taking quick jobs and visiting various parts of the country to try to make that money. Welcome aboard, everybody. Thanks for having me as a part of your Twitch viewing for this evening. I am in Euro Truck Simulator 2, and we're going to take our first job. Tonight's format is more or less the same, except that I have a favor to ask. I usually do my absolute best not to ask too much from people, especially not online, but tonight's a different night. I've just tried to figure out how to take care of my responsibilities fiscally, and I'm looking a little low. If you feel so inclined and you enjoy the content, I would kindly ask a consideration of a cheer or a donation or a subscription. On my panel, I think there's a donation section, and you can always either gift a sub or cheer. But if you can, it will be great. If you can't, and all you can do is hang out and offer some support in terms of watching the content, I certainly appreciate you hanging around and wish you a great evening. I wrapped up my work for the week, and another work week, as they say, is in the books. So I'm going to grab my first trucking job and see if I can find anything particularly cool to drive. I think I might actually do this job because we're going to go down to Daikoku, not Yokohama. It takes a little bit longer to get to Yokohama since I have to go under the Bay Bridge at that point. So this isn't bad, although the problem is that this basically does not pay a lot. And if I'm going to be driving that kind of a distance, I want to do something that pays better. I could do the exact opposite and see how far I can get. So I drive from Daikoku all the way up to Takayama, and I'd be taking wall panels. So let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. Oh, just just missed taking a screenshot. Oh well. All right. I don't know what truck I picked. Looks like I picked a DAF truck. Sure started up nice though. Ooh, what? It's got overhead lights. It's got overhead high beams. I thought the man trucks were cool. This is next level, man. All right. Ooh, beefy horn too. Gotta move on. I think this is like the first time I came out of here. Also, I've got wait. Just made it. Let's go. This is going to be rather tricky. Like pretty challenging exit. Why am I going up still? Oh, this is not good. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be going out the top, but I guess I have to go up to go down. This may be a problem. I think I'm going to take a break. Not a break, but I think I'm going to take a bit of a real world assist here because I'm going to need it. This is kind of crazy. Should be enough. I don't. Seriously, I don't know how these truck drivers do it. Nope, I'm completely going the wrong way. This may be, it literally may be the very first um, job I may have to abandon if I can't figure out how to do this right. I literally is not gonna make it anymore. But now that I'm all the way up against the wall, I might be able to do it. I'm up against the wall here. I'm not about to hit the post, but I'm going nowhere fast. I don't think I was supposed to go up here. Yeah, guys, I may have to call services to get me towed from this parking garage. Oh my word. This is kind of ridiculous. Here we go. So, I think what I'm literally going to do is I'm going to turn around in that little area that I passed and go back down the ramp. Because I seriously can't figure out a better approach. We're going to get this done one way or another. So it's was literally, and I mean literally, like I ran out of room up at the top. This is most definitely going to force me to level up my reversing skills. Oh wait, hold on. Stuck on something. Uh, no. I think the only thing that might have happened is I might have bottomed out. Oh no, I'm fine. I wonder what happened. We got that. We do that. The thing is, I think it's actually the collision detection that's doing that. Excuse me. It was on the ground. I am positively floored by how challenging just getting out of this garage is. But, on the other hand, if I can figure out how to get out of this garage without calling services, the rest of this one will probably be cake. The only way out is through. I literally don't think I'm going to get much closer to the wall. Fix that. Wow. I think I literally might have locked my gears up. Okay. Oh, there we go. Got up to the top. Let's see if I can get out the bottom. So I think, unless they keep going up, I'll eventually start going down. No, I've got one more level to go. This is nuts. Oh, my word. All right. Rooftop. Challenging exits. Check. Man, if Studio Connect were here. Okay, so... Hello? Oh my word. I made it up to the roof. I have no idea how to get down. Hopefully, I can actually come back down now. Oh, I can't come back down now. What is this? Oh, wow. This is tricky. Alright, see if I have enough juice to get around this. No. So if I go all the way up to the fence, and then swing around extremely gently. Gently. I might be able to clear this. All right. Never mind that we have a trailer on the roof of a building. This entire stream may just be one job. Step one, we made it to the top. Let's see if we can survive to step two. Okay. Um, Trailer damage 2%. I think anything past 3% trailer damage is going to result in the job not being worth it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a mulligan and literally get towed to services. Okay. I gave it a good shot. The truck is just fine. The trailer's just like a little bit dinged up. I think what most likely happened was I should have just backed the trailer down the ramp that it was next to, but sheesh, like I couldn't figure out how to get back down the hill, so whatever. Alright, it's alright, we're on ground level now. I think I'll take that lesson for future reference. Oh, sorry about that, just itching my ear here. Getting set up for the haul. So theoretically, I can go up the more narrow highway, or I can go up the Bayside Road, which, given my particular situation, is going to be more preferable. And then once we get to Tokyo, we'll be able to go to the pier, hop a boat to the northern shores, and then we'll be able to complete the rest of our trip into the interior. I did do a drive up into the interior in the north last night or a couple nights ago. It was pretty interesting. So, there we go. One failed attempt to get out of a parking garage later, and we are on the highway. Oof. My truck is chugging. Okay. I think we're fine now. There we go. I'm chugging a little bit now too. But if I can hang on for like the next 25, 30 minutes, I'll probably get another second wind and I'll be able to keep going. Probably do another medium haul like this, and then we'll see where we wind up. But welcome. If you're new, I usually do flight sim streams and scenery development. Tonight I am indulging in a rapidly growing side hobby to my side hobby, which is trucking. In Euro Truck Simulator 2, I am indulging in a map mod called Project Japan. This is a map expansion which allows me to drive through multiple regions in Japan, all the way out far west, um, on the western island called Shikoku, by Osaka and Kobe, and of course in Tokyo and Yokohama. I just left Daikoku, which is on the way between Tokyo and Yokohama, but I am going to be traveling to the northern portion of Japan today. I have a story for you guys. I was trying to figure out ways to set aside some extra change, if you will, and I got inspired to try to clean up some of my electronics, some of the ones that I'm not using at the moment, and thought, hey, I could try to turn these into some actual cash. So I have a PS4 that I haven't used in a long time, and I thought, okay, I could probably make, I don't know, somewhere between $80 to $100 off of it. So I turned it on, saw that it had an account, and I said, all right, let's do the sensible thing. Let's go ahead and do a factory reset, a quick delete, and basically then just have it ready to go on offer to whoever it is who's going to buy it, whether it was a store or an individual. So I thought, okay, fine. Let me go ahead and reset it. I signed out of the account, or I signed into the account to be able to, reset the machine, and I reset it. It restarted, and then I tried to get it back to a place where I could actually just make sure that the menus were working and stuff like that. But the controller didn't want to work anymore. And mind you, I was using the same USB cable and the same controller. So me resetting the account and resetting the PS4 shouldn't have been a problem. But for whatever reason, it didn't want to work anymore. Like, I kept pushing the PlayStation button of the controller, even with it being hooked up to the PS4 via USB, and it didn't want to work. I thought, okay, let me swap the USB cable, right? And I did. I turned it off. I turned it back on again. Same problem. Doesn't want to hook up. Doesn't want to connect. Doesn't want to do anything. I swapped to another USB cable and another USB cable, and it didn't want to work. And Mrs. Digi was like hanging out with me and just doing some stuff, and I told her, and I was just like, I was supposed to reset this thing and try to see if I could take it in someplace to get some money off of it. And she was supportive. She's like, hey, don't freak out about it. So I kept going. I kept trying, and eventually I just got to a point. You get to a point where you're about to hit a wall, and it's just the frustration is starting to get palpable. Like, you can or put it a different way, people can literally start to feel you get frustrated and tired and just getting like you're so done with it. And it was just like, okay, like what else can I do? So I tried and I tried and I tried, and it was just like, this isn't working. And literally at the point where you start you start to sound like that motorcycle back there, you start to get to this point where like you're just about to boil over. I just stopped, and what Mrs. Digi said made sense, and I was just like, I'm good. I'm done. Like I I tried to do this legitimately. I tried to make it so that I was actually able to get this thing prepped to sell. It doesn't want to check. Now, mind you, I'm just making sure that the controller using my USB cable hooks up to the machine, but it didn't want to work. And right at that moment, I said, Lord, you have this situation. Like, I can't do anything else. You know what I was trying to do. And I prayed. I was just like, I give this to you. You can take it all. You know that I was trying to move these things so that I could have money to take care of just some upcoming obligations. And I was just like, I'm giving that to you. You want to take all my stuff? Go ahead. I'm going to worship you where I am right now. And I'm going to let you know you have full control. So I did that. And basically, my PS4 is now back in a box, back in my other room. And right now, I don't care about it. To the extent that I don't care whether it gets sold or whether I get another chance to sell it, or I give it to a friend who specializes in fixing PS4s and I give it to him or her as a birthday present. And I go, hey, it's yours. Enjoy it. Um, I just like it's not worth me feeling flustered over it. And that's literally it. Like I just put that down. Maybe I had to put my stuff away or get it ready to be moved or get it ready to be sold. But it was going to be something that I was going to use in conjunction with other tech that I was going to take somewhere to sell. You know how like, you have these things you're going to try to sell for money, and you have your big card that you lead off with, the most expensive one. Well, the PS4 was my most expensive one. So not having that to sell in anything approaching the condition that I wanted to sell it in basically meant like it's almost like, okay, I might not sell anything. And maybe that was the whole point. You know how like sometimes you get to those points where you try to do something and you just like, it's okay. It's okay. I did my best. This isn't working out. This is either going to happen later or it's never going to happen. And then maybe later you come across the perfect solution and everything gets handled, even if it's not in the precise way you were expecting. And that's kind of like how it all comes out. Like you basically you're good at that point. I don't exactly know how that's going to happen, but I'm good. At least for right now, I'm definitely good. All right, 25 hours. Are we? Okay, we still have a day to deliver this, so that's good. I thought we were running low on time. Maybe they had to take the really long way around the island. I don't know. But welcome to the northern shores of Japan. And the continuing adventures of Digi Driver. I am Digi driving in Project Japan. So, just so I avoid making an extensive story here, I have a spare room with some packed up electronics that may or may not get handled anytime soon, and I'm just chilling out. Dinner tasted very good this evening. Mrs. Digi made use of the food that we had in our pantry and created a kind of chicken dip. I don't know if you've gone to any sports games recently, or if you've indulged in like bar food or whatever, but over the years, she's made this thing called buffalo chicken dip, which basically takes canned chicken, um, I think like cheese and cream cheese, like literal Philadelphia cream cheese, and then we, or rather she, takes some, I think it's like buffalo sauce, like buffalo hot sauce, and then some ranch dressing. What's that? Oh, ranch and cheese. Excuse me, Mrs. Digi just helped me out here. She takes ranch and cheese along with like Philadelphia cream cheese and the chicken, and then we cook it, like we saute it in the pot that we usually use for pressure cooking, and then basically that cooks up in about, I want to say like 20 minutes, something like that, give or take 5 or 10 minutes. It just becomes this dippable, enjoyable, almost fondue in a sense. And you can have it with bread, you can have it with crackers, tortilla chips, Doritos. You can have it with a meal, like with rice or with like coleslaw or something. It's literally amazing. And she made that today. And now I had some earlier. It was delicious. And that reminds me, driving in Project Japan, I got inspired to think about the some of the cuisine. I'm pretty sure one of their staples is reminiscent of something I used to eat a lot of when I spent time in New York City. I used to have rice and plenty of ethnic food. Without giving away too much, I'll just go ahead and say I spent time with some amazing people, and in the years that I spent in New York, I definitely had my share of rice. And it's interesting because I've had it in different ways. I've had it where it's like sticky white rice that you usually get when you go order, Oriental takeaway. It can be like kind of like fluffy and forkable but definitely not sticky, you know, kind of rice. You can get the kind of rice that basically cooks really well, and if you prepare it the right way, you wind up getting this. I, I don't know if I'd call it substrate, but basically you get this condensed rice film or rice layer at the bottom that catches the majority of, I guess, the heat from the pot or the stove or whatever it's cooking in, and it becomes this hardened rice that you can, with the right utensil, literally peel off the bottom of the pot and eat it straight up. And like I said, if you cook it the right way in the pot and you get that that layer at the bottom, chances are you're going to get a good concentration of the flavors and the just like the punchiness of the rice at that stage, which is chef's kiss, superb. Now, it wasn't until probably some years after I basically camped on rice for a long time, it wasn't until some time later that I actually started to branch out into really digging into and liking noodles. Now, I didn't dislike noodles as a kid. Noodles were fun, but once I started getting into, and I'm not talking about SpaghettiOs, because in one sense, I kind of count the noodles from spaghetti as like not counting, because like if you're gonna have spaghetti, if you're gonna have pasta, even though they're technically the same kind of idea, once I cross over into things like ramen, miso ramen, tonkatsu ramen, once you start crossing over into even the instant ramen that you would get from the supermarket, then like that's a different animal to me, because it's just different. Like you're going to be compelled to consume it differently, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I think this is our stop, and the reason why is because there's this left loop up ahead. So this is where we're going to pull off the highway. Yeah, there we go. Noodles are fun. Particularly the noodles in like ramen soup. Because they're cooked differently, or at least they consist of different things. I can't imagine they'd be that different from the same noodles that you use to cook, like, you make pasta foods with. And I'm pretty sure they're not, unless we're talking about a different base that's used to actually construct them. If you make them from powder, from like, flour and eggs and stuff like that. It's just It's just the presentation, the ingredients that you use to prepare your meal. I just think about things like ramen soup and how the broth is so dense, so flavorful that it literally eats like a dinner in the middle of the day. But I mean, that's me for you. I'm a foodie. Oh, this is interesting. A two-lane divided highway, more or less. This is kind of dope. In the States, we have two-lane parkways, like two-way, one lane on each side parkways. This is what this reminds me of. It's like a baby highway. If anyone's tuning in and you you live in a different part of the world, in the U.S. we have a highway system with different classifications of roads, and I'm gonna leave out streets and like local roads in a town or even a city. And basically, what I call a highway is anything of almost any size, even if it's a two-lane apparatus like what we're on right now. The qualification is it's a highway if the number of access points on it are limited. Like you can only enter and exit the road at specific junctures, at specific points. And it's not a local road. You don't have very many or any buildings lining the shoulders. You usually have entrance and exit ramps, and those ramps can either be at grade, which is on the same level as the road, and that means you might have a whole bunch of intersections with traffic signals, traffic lights, or you are going to have below grade access points which go under the road, or above grade access points which go above it. And that means you either have you're either on overpasses or you're driving under them. And I forget exactly how the whole story goes, but my grasp of the vernacular aside, I consider this to be a highway. And this is a pretty neat road. This is a pretty neat highway too. What I'm noticing is that Japan really crams things together. And it's very evident when you drive on roads in the major cities. Cities like Osaka and Kobe and Tokyo, Haneda, Yokohama. Yokohama? Yeah, Yokohama. And basically you have roads stacked on roads, stacked under roads, that either go around, under, or through buildings. And it's fun. It's fun. I haven't actually played with Assetto Corsa and driven on the Shitoku Revival project, but I can tell you, it is pretty fun ripping around on roads like that. Okay, we only have 15 kilometers to go for the first delivery. That's pretty cool. Not bad. Wow, that's a pretty big dirt moving vehicle. Almost makes me wonder if they're going to... Oh no, wait. This has to be this way because of the way the landscape works. You can't just say, oh, okay, turn left. It's not going to work like that. Scariest. It does simulate the bumps. Alright. Is this another highway? This is cool. But welcome aboard, everybody. I am about to wrap up my first job of the evening. Depending on how I feel, once I take a short break, I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to do another long or medium haul route, or just do a quick route and then potentially wrap it up for the night. I don't know. I'm definitely going to stop and take some swigs of water and then decide what it is that I want. This is pretty intense. It looks like whatever it is they're working on, they're building, which is pretty neat, to be honest. Look at them working on the beam structures to support the road. That's pretty cool. Alright, gotta make this right turn here. Alright, gotta be careful. I'm like riding the guardrail. That's pretty cool. Two kilometers to go. Which means we are almost there. This is pretty cool. All those wildflowers. Sunflowers? I'm wondering if that's a wireless store. thought I saw a Dakoko 5G sign somewhere. Wow, pretty cool area. Okay, it's gonna be on the right. Let's see where we can park this thing. Might as well go for it straight ahead. The vehicles are going to make it difficult to do, which they might. Let's see if we can actually get this thing fixed. Oh no, this is going to take more than a little bit of doing. Might be good. What I could probably do is put it down and then come back around. And now that I'm almost precisely where it needs to be, I can finesse it. So now we're in a pretty good spot. And just like that, we're done. Ah, that took a little while. Come and get it. Almost through level 5. We've got 9.4 million yen. How much can I buy for that? I could buy a truck for as little as 3 or 4.5 almost million yen, but the condition is terrible. Like 350,000 miles with 12% permanent wear. This is not that bad. This is almost... Actually, this isn't that bad. This is actually better. But honestly, goals is like this. 1% permanent wear and basically less than 100,000 kilometers. And I'm like still easily 3.5 million yen plus from getting a truck like that. And none of those other trucks interest me right now, actually. I could get a left-hand drive truck if I wanted to, but that wouldn't make sense if I was going to be doing a bunch of Japanese deliveries like I am, because it's going to be harder for me to see where I'm going since I'm literally driving on the wrong on the quote unquote wrong side of the truck. But yeah, that's it. That's job one for me. I think I have enough left in me for, like, I think one more run, and then I'll probably call it. So let me just take a break, catch my breath, and I will take a swig of water, just kind of stretch, and then get back in and pick one more run to do. Stand by, chat. BRB. Let's go ahead and grab one more delivery for tonight. It's probably not going to be as long, so I'm probably not going to break 10 million yen tonight. Not unless I find a job that gives me the most bang for my buck. We'll see. from Takayama to Tokyo in a Iveco S-Way, I guess hybrid truck. That's not bad. We're not going down to Yokohama. We're just going straight out of the port to delivery point in Tokyo. So it'd be like getting back in the truck and going the other way down the hill, which I think is what we'd be doing anyway. So I don't know. Let's see. Do I have anything else that's more appealing? Well, Jetsu to Tokyo is pretty much almost directly on the highway, and that's going to pay me more. It's not the desired vehicle I want, but it pays great. Let's see what the first job is that pays like 600,000 yen. Well, the first job that takes 437,000 yen is from Takayama to Kobe, which is actually kind of fun. And it's not that much driving distance, actually. Loads of highway and a pretty good run on how much I get paid per kilometer. That's pretty good. Don't see much else that's less, more bang for the buck than that. Like literally, if you're going to actually take a job, might as well be the one that pays the best for the miles you're driving. Let's see. Nope, not really. But I was looking for like 600,000 yen jobs too. Anything? Anything? We're gonna break 600,000 yen. So far, it looks like the operative answer is no. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Oh my word. We're pulling tractors from Shikokucho to Kanazawa, and I think it's from the island. Yeah, there we go. From Shikoku Island all the way up to Kanazawa. Wow, that's 3,000 yen per mile. I don't know, that's hard to pass up. So let's see. There we go. This is going to be a haul because we're going to be taking the bridges off the island, and then we're going to be going up through I think Kobe and Osaka, and then going up to Kanazawa. But once we get to Kanazawa, the trip is done. 221 miles. That's trip time 16 hours 54 minutes. My guess is the boat ride's going to take about 12 or 13 hours, which means about 4 hours and change. So probably another 45 minutes. We're not going to do that. I'm literally going to just take a nice job. I got tempted by the promise of, not going to say easy money per se, but I definitely got tempted by how how easy it was going to be to make bank off of that. Let me see if I can find that S-Way truck. Osaka to Daikoku's not bad, but if I can find the black truck, that was the one that paid like 300,000. I have a feeling I'm going the wrong way. That's not bad though, considering it's literally only 82 kilometers. That's pretty dense. The fancy Iveco truck may have to wait. Where was it anyway? The job was like 300,000. Still trying to find that truck. Ah, there it is. It would have been potatoes from Takayama to Tokyo. So, you know what? I'm okay with this. It's not my preferred truck. It's potentially not my preferred route, but it's definitely it's going to be a good payout. All right, what are we taking again? We are going to be delivering milk. Okay. It does my paycheck good. So, not a bad way to cap off the night. A nice, smaller delivery. It's pretty high up fence. There's the gate is in the distance. It's not gonna be much longer before we start talking about things like, oh man, I put my jacket on because the AC is running really cold in my room. Hey man, you know it's like the yearly shuffle. You know, you shuffle from like the cold to the warm, and then from the warm to the cold. It's all right. This, I believe, is the entrance to the highway, which is dope. Thanks again to everybody that stopped by today and lurked. I appreciate you. You bring up the channel stats, so thanks for choosing to make me a part of your evening. By simply being here, you're helping my channel. I certainly also welcome chatters to, stop in and chat and say hello. And if you feel so inclined, you can follow, maybe even sub, or drop some bits in the form of a cheer. But those are appreciated, never required. With that said, if you can help me make a little bit extra bank this period, it would be sincerely appreciated. Okay, looks like 9:17 a.m. on a Saturday in northern Japan as we shuffle on down to. Oh, wait a minute. Which road did I take? Yeah, this is the Northern Shore. Yep. Got some ground to cover. That's mostly. Whoa. That was so dope. I just got buzzed by an aircraft. Must have been like a 737 or something, or a 767. It sounded really big. Yes, it is difficult to gauge things like size of the aircraft and aircraft type based on the fact that it buzzed me flying the other way while I was driving in the opposite direction. So, it is difficult to determine this. We are on the way to Kanazawa, and then I believe what's going to happen is we're going to go down to, was it Tokyo or Osaka? Tokyo, yeah. So this is a relatively zippy drive straight down to the port of Kanazawa, and then we're going to go to Tokyo, pull off the boat, and probably just go down the street to our delivery point. By the way, folks, if you have been chatting, if you've been trying to get my attention, and for some reason I didn't see you, I apologize. I don't think that's what's going on right now, but a problem I ran into before was literally that the stream the screen that I had, I said stream, I meant screen. The screen that I was looking at comments on wasn't showing me the comments that were actually in chat, and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. I was looking at the screen where the comments were rolling in. Why didn't I see them? And what literally happened was the comments were showing up in the stream software, but they were not showing up on my other screen. And that made me feel bad because, I mean, I think I only missed 5 or 10 minutes worth of comments, and it was from a friend, and there weren't that many, but I like to engage with chat and, crack jokes and pass the time. And when I don't see it, when I don't see the comments that someone makes and I miss out on the conversation, it makes me feel bad because you were trying to get my attention and you couldn't, you didn't get it. And it's like, well, I mean, sheesh, what? Like, what are we gonna do at this point? You know, like the streamer's not paying attention to me. You're gonna go somewhere where you're paid attention to, where your time and your comments are respected. So yeah, like I can definitely see how your comments being ignored makes you not want to spend your time in a particular chat. I do my best to pay attention to chat, is what I'm trying to say. I don't always succeed, but I do try. I would like to see more parts of this area get connected. That would be wonderful. So then it would take much, much longer to get from northern Japan to, say, Osaka, instead of hopping a boat or doing something like that towards the end. It's nice to see the difference in vehicles that's in Japan versus in Europe and America. Or, better said, it's nice that there's an actual difference represented. You, man? You? Let's see, we're rolling through here. Thank you. almost to the seaport, which means we are almost on the boat. It's going to take us probably about 20 to 24 hours of time to get from the North Shore to Tokyo, I would imagine. Not my best turn, but not my worst either. Should have enough gas on hand to get to Tokyo from here. Funny thing about this place is, or, excuse me, the amusing thing about this sim is Project Japan has you hopping into and out of so many ferries. All right, goodbye, North Shore. It's been fun. All right, let's go to Tokyo and deliver our food. So again, I want to thank everybody that's come out tonight for the support. Thank you for being a part of tonight's journeys. Friendly reminder that I will not be on this weekend. I will probably return sometime on Monday to, I believe, kick off some proper silent scenery dev streams like I used to. And then once we get to that point where I am back on a consistent schedule, we might be able to start talking about scenery releases and projects and hopefully new initiatives soon. I had a pretty, I was kind of I was kind of cooking this week at work, and I'm blessed to be able to say that another work week is in the books. Sure, this isn't like 700,000 yet, but I'm, I'm glad I took the shorter job right now. Kind of starting to feel it a little bit. I got some more energy in me yet. I should be able to wrap up my stuff without too much difficulty, but sometimes it does take a little bit to be able to finish well. I feel myself getting tired, but I remember the first, I think like the first year I did streaming, I was still waking up pretty early in the morning to the to go to work, to drive into the office. And some of the conversations that I would have on stream in my, for lack of a better phrase, in my oops, blew through a red light, in my tired shape were kind of funny, actually kind of hilarious. Completely missed that red light, but grateful I didn't hit anybody. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip parking this thing because I am a little tired. Okay, so that took a chunk out of my profits, but we did level up. We are now level 6, and I am going to go ahead and pick eco driving. And now that we have eco driving fully ranked, now we get up to 35% fuel saved, whether I'm driving with a trailer or free. And now that my eco driving skill is up, that means I'm not going to be spending as much money to get my trucks filled up. I mean, call it what you will. You could call it I'm driving, more advanced trucks, or call it that I'm driving better. Your mileage will vary. But eco driving in an ETS and an ATS is always the first skill set that I level up. And then basically I'm probably going to work on my either long distance or ADR training. So ADR is probably going to be the next thing I'm going to go for, to be able to transport hazardous materials. And then probably it's going to be a toss up. Either I'm going to be delivering fragile cargo or high value cargo or long distance. I'm probably going to be doing long distance next, unless I go for certifications like that, so that I can potentially get better paying jobs. I'll save my game. In theory, I don't have to keep making saves like this. However, it's been my experience, especially in the past several months, especially since I started playing this a lot more, sometimes updates, and especially updates in the area of doing things like convoying with friends, and then switching back to certain modes of gameplay, you have to load from a particular save. And I think that only happens when you actually, I don't know, are missing something. But I find myself making more of those lately. And that's interesting because I thought the trucks that were on offer changed. This dropped a little bit in price. But if I'm gonna buy a truck and I don't have the money for it, I could theoretically just take out a big fat loan from the bank, go buy a new truck and call it. But I don't know. It's definitely better or more agreeable for me to buy a vehicle like the long way around the barn. So that if I want to buy my big red truck, I can with my own money without getting a loan from the bank. Now, did I get any virtual email? I think I did. No. So, say for example, I got another 14 and a half million yen. That would basically be about 15 million to 19. So I have about 24 million yen to buy a new truck. But then I'd be responsible for about 422,000 yen being paid out of my business account daily, which means every day I would at least have to pick jobs that were like 400,000 yen or more. And I don't know, it's like, Thanksgiving dinner tastes different when you know you have a big bill to pay versus not having one. So I don't know. I think I'll keep taking quick jobs. There's certainly they certainly continue to put me in, different situations, and I'm okay with that. But to work. Oh, Grafton Fur. Hello. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Whatchamacallit? I wonder how long you've been here and I haven't responded to your comment. But thank you so much for stopping in. I mean, if you if you happen to take a look at this later and you see that I finally responded to you, I apologize. But a minute or something, okay. Thank you. I've been trying to be as vigilant as I can these days about responding to comments in chat. And fortunately, especially when you do flight simulation, but also when you're doing truck simming as well, it's relatively easy to keep tabs on when people say hello. You saw Twuck and decided to chime in. I am officially on level 6 of my career progress. I have been running Redline Logistics now. Actually, how long? Let's see, when did I start? I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell when I started, but I've made 37 total deliveries. Ah, okay, I can go to delivery log. So, let's see. I think that's what I just did. And there we go. But the very first deliveries I made were like incredibly small deliveries. And they were fun just to kind of tool around. And then I think what happened was, as I discovered that you could drive even further, I just stopped taking tiny deliveries because I realized how much I was actually making, and it didn't seem like a reasonable thing to do. I am good. I was getting tired a little while ago, and I think I mean I'm wrapping up for tonight actually, but I did a couple of jobs. I did a longer job. Actually, let's see. What was my first job tonight? Let's take a look. I delivered wall panels from Dakoku to Takayama, and I had I had a hard time. I couldn't get out of the parking garage where I picked up the delivery job from. I had to literally get towed to Daikoku from the building. They don't show the process if you're getting towed, but I literally had to call services to get me off the building so that I could finish the delivery. It didn't take very long, but it was kind of hilarious because I couldn't figure out how to back the thing. I had to keep going. I went all the way up, and then what happened was I wound up on the roof, and I'm like, oh, well, let me try getting down. And then I think all of like 3 minutes passed, and I'm like, you know what? I give up. But even though I was tempted to abandon the job, I said, okay, just call services, have them tow you, keep going. Um, I wasn't technically stuck, but I felt like I was gonna be. So it was one of those deals. Also, we're still shopping around, and I'm still getting tempted to buy a used truck and just have my own truck and kick off the journey. But the fun thing about doing quick jobs is that vehicle repairs are covered, gasoline is covered, trip expenses are covered, tolls are covered. So it's literally like the fastest line between you not having cash and having cash. But I would imagine once you start delivering with your own truck, you'll probably make more per job. Oh, yeah. The common story that I tell is that I got stuck exiting an interchange once, and it took me about 3 to 5 minutes to get the truck unstuck just so I could keep going. It might have taken me 2.5 minutes, but still, it it kind of felt like a while. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, having the money in the bank will of course cover your trip expenses, your fuel, your tolls, the ferries you take, and you will be taking plenty of ferries. Let me let me see. Let me see if my one of my favorite trucks is available. Well, not available, but let me see if one of my favorite trucks is actually as expensive as it usually is. Okay. So I have like 9 million, almost 10 million yen at this point, and I am literally about halfway to my first brand new truck, which is pretty neat. Not gonna lie. I mean, this is basically a bare bones sleeper. It's a small compartment, but it's probably got all the creature comforts you need to get the job done and live life on the road. And I could probably get that, or I could get this, which is about twice as much, but it's more modernized, or it looks more modern. Now, of course, once you get the vehicle, you can always make tune-ups, or excuse me, customizations down the road. Like I can buy this and eventually work my way into this, like literally transform it into that over time. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the red, but I wonder whether or not you could actually get that in red. Let's see. So, okay, that's the same color. Blue, standard red, even standard red's okay, but I probably wouldn't want standard red. I'd probably want, let's see. Ooh, there we go. It reminds me of the same paint job that I have in ETS in the standard map. Of course, we could always go for the kind of like DuPont-ish color changing thing where it's one color, but when the light hits it, it kind of transforms. That kind of makes me think Minecraft Creeper. I like that actually. This is growing on me. So if I pick this color, for example, same idea, different effect. This has that kind of semiconductor feeling. Excuse me. Kind of looks like, microchips and whatnot. And this is kind of cool because the effect is way more subtle. You really have to be paying attention, which is actually nice. Scales of Might. This actually looks pretty good, almost like like a dragon thing. I kind of like that, but I kind of don't at the same time. That would get me in trouble, because that would just be running so hard. And that one's actually pretty cool. That's actually a really nice combination. Yeah, I think if I was going to get one of these, it would probably be the... Which one was it? Ooh. Even like carbon fiber-ish looks pretty cool on this. And we could, we can go into at length into all this, but yeah, I think digitized reality might actually be something I buy later. Unless, of course, I get a really custom metallic color, which would be something like that. And what I would probably do would be max out the red. And then, let's see, how would this work? And now I'm having fun. So we could go like DuPont color change here, and then give it like that orangey splash. And then not like over the top. I have to control my color combo here. And then pick this color and probably make it something that would really pop. And you can almost tell right there, it's like right where the light hits it, that it would be different. And then you would see that, yeah, you see that like right where the sunlight hits it is where you'd see that purple. So it kind of resembles just this nice effect, almost like a sunrise. You spend half the time customizing. I'll tell you what, once you get to the point where like you can spend the time customizing because you've got a lot of folks doing your jobs for you. I mean, I still like driving myself, driving my own deliveries, but I'm trying to say, once you have enough money to start making that the mini game, that's kind of fun. But even this as a base starter, this looks nice, actually. Only problem is, brand new, like you can see, it's like that much. So the goal is to either buy something used for a reasonable price, or I don't know, keep taking quick jobs until I buy a new truck. Uh, yeah, yeah. I guess if you like trucks that much, you're gonna sweat the small stuff. I'm glad decided to start playing Project Japan again though, because it's made me appreciate the more challenging deliveries and routes, and certainly made me appreciate saving money for a truck even more. But sheesh, what time is it? Wow. Okay, well it's not that bad. I thought it was like way later than it was. It's good. It's good. I wrapped up at a decent time. Um, you know, just letting you know, like I said to chat before, I'm not going to be on this weekend, and I am probably going to come back on Monday and do scenery development and or trucking, and hopefully next week will present some nice opportunities for me, but we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, family time tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully the promise of a new day. Until I see you folks again, like I always like to tell my friends and my chat, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that is Jesus Christ. Take care, my friends. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for being a part of tonight's stream, and I will catch you guys next time. Let me see how many folks are here. It's just us. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go for the evening. Take care, friends. Have a great night, and we'll see you.